Francis Bacon, he has said that we should tame the Mother Nature. Mother Earth is our servant. We should tame her to meet our demands, our needs. I do not know how many needs he needs. His needs, God knows how many he wants, what he wants. So in this connection, after industrial era, the amount of damage we have caused, the amount of extraction is going on, even today, it has not stopped. It is going on in a greater speed because more of mechanization, more of money, more of oriented, business oriented, profit oriented, at the cost of nature. Mother Earth is virtually weeping, blood red water flows. Every citizen can see that. It is visible, but we are not kind to her. Here, I would just like to quote most eminent visionary biologist states, every natural habitat carries an intelligence of 3.5 billion years of experimentation of life forms. Nagesh Agde was telling about the biodiversity. It is not yesterday's intelligence. It is not been designed by man, laboratory, or scientist, or Nobel laureates. It is experimentation of the 3.5 billion years life forms have evolved for a defined function. Why we are unable to understand that? So, the natural habitat means it constitutes a renewable dynamic resource upon which all living creatures, communities, including so-called crown of evolution, man also depends on that. He cannot create 1 gram of a chloroplast. He cannot create breathable air. We have to depend upon that. But are we really concerned about it? What is wrong with the man? What is wrong with the intelligence? Yesterday, the great scientists were here. So all these things is very well known to this audience. There is no need for me to recollect. So when we are walking on the ground, we must open our eyes and see how many ants are doing a great engineering job. How many white ants are doing a great engineering job. How they built a beautiful semicircular saucer to trap water. About a fortnight back, I took LLM students to a site in Chittavadi. There is a small ant hole. I made the National Law School students to pour the water in a very small, it is hardly about 3 millimeters diameter. We started pouring the water to that hole. So LLM students were watching. 1 liter bottle, 2 liter bottle, 3 liter bottle, 4 liters, 5 liters. Within 6 minutes, that small crevices, underground galleries have been designed to tap that water. So let us think whether it is really necessary to build dam at this cost. Yesterday, Subramaniam and so many others were talking about it. So the natural dams are there right under your foot. We are not concerned about that. We are killing them. We are adding pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. we wanted to kill everything and develop. Killing is the technology, and development means killing and then adding toxic substances to every life-supporting resource. I'm really delighted, and I'm really grateful to Guruji has taken lead in this area and invited very enlightened people here to share their concern. So, this is something, you know, the future generation certainly will curse us. Curse these 2, 3, 4 generations who are primarily responsible for Mother Earth to weep, and she is virtually crying. There is nobody to wipe her tears. So now I will request one by one all the speakers to speak, because I do not want to continue to speak. I mean, that will go on. Wherever it is required, I will intervene. So I will request the first speaker. The co-chair, you wanted to share something now? Huh? No problem. Nagaraj, my good friend, doing a lot of field work. He has felt the pulses of the community. He made community to unite for a cause. Most committed devotee of this organization. I know him from last 1.5 decades personally. So I'm sure that he will share his vivid experience of how to mend human beings to a cause. Right.
सबको नमस्कार। मैं रिवर रिजुवेनेशन कार्यक्रम में 2010 से जुड़ा हूँ। पहले से मैं देखना चाहता हूँ, मेरा गांव में ऐसा नाला था, बचपन से उधर खेलते थे हम। थोड़ा साल के बाद वो भी ट्रेड अप। इसके लिए मेरा मन में वही रहता है, कैसा फिर देखना, ऐसा नदियों को फिर हमारा जीते पहले ही मरने के पहले ही देखना है। इसके लिए मेरा एक खुशी है, सब देखने के लिए खुशी है। देखिए, मैं इधर आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग में आ गया तो पहले मैं एक बस स्टैंड में बैठा था मैं, तो एक पिक पॉकेटर को सब लोग मार रहे थे और पुलिस लोग भी मार रहे थे। मैं जाके पूछा, उससे पूछा मैंने कितना पिक पॉकेट किया, 2000 रुपया। तो मैंने उससे पूछा 2000 रुपये के लिए कितना है ना मार पड़ेगा। तो बस में जाते ही मुझे आ गया, इसके लिए कुछ करना है। इसके लिए मैं बस में बैठ के ही सोचने शुरू किया, इन लोगों को ठीक करना है, कर सकते हैं। तो वापस गांव से आ गया, मैं बेंगलुरु डीसीपी साउथ आलोक कुमार जी से बात करने के लिए शुरू किया। सर, ये चोर लोगों का लिस्ट दीजिए, मैं उनको ठीक करूँगा। तो वो लोग हंसने शुरू किया, सब लोग हंस रहे थे। वो लोग सभी हैबिचुअल है, आप कैसा कर सकते हैं? नहीं सर, मैं करूँगा सर, ये गुरुजी का नॉलेज इतना ताकत का नॉलेज है, हम कर सकते हैं सर। तो उन्होंने मना किया। और मेरा एक हैबिट है, बार बार जाते रहना, उनसे मिलते रहना। तो 2 बार गया, 3 बार गया। 24th वीक तो वो लोग हंसने शुरू किया, नागराज जी छोड़ने वाला नहीं क्या? नहीं सर, कर सकते हैं सर। तो उन्होंने तभी इच्छा, आओ कर सकते हैं क्या? तो मैं एक काम करूँगा, सभी स्टेशन को इन्फॉर्म करूँगा, दो दो लोगों को उधर इकट्ठा करके भेजने के लिए। तो एक हॉल का बंदोबस्त हो गया। तो उनको मैंने आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग का ये प्रेजेंट स्मार्ट एक प्रोग्राम है, उसको सिखाया। ऐसा तरीके से सिखाया, उनको पता ही नहीं है क्या ट्रेनिंग हो रहा है। तो उनको मैंने रूम में बिठा दिया और मैंने उनको बताया, देखिए पुलिस लोग आपके पीछे रहते हैं, तभी कैसा भागना है। हाँ, ये आइडिया अच्छा है। तो भागने का तरीका सिखाया, तो सांस कैसा लेना है, उज्जे सांस में कैसा भाग सकते हैं। तो उसके बाद में मुझे लगा उनको अभी क्या क्या सिखाना है। इसका वजह उनका क्राइम के बारे में सिखा दिया और उसको ताकत बनने के लिए मैंने प्राणायाम सिखा दिया। तो उसको ताकत आने के लिए आप ऐसा प्राणायाम, वो स्टेज वैसे भी सिखा दिया। उनको पता ही नहीं है, भस्त्रिका करा दिया उन लोगों को। दूसरी दिन आलोक कुमार जी ने मुझे फ़ोन किया, नागराज जी आपके शिष्य लोग हैं ना, पुलिस स्टेशन में रेडी है 5:30 बजे। आप देखियो, कुछ भी ट्रेनिंग को सब लोग भागते हैं, लेकिन आपका ट्रेनिंग के लिए 5:30 बजे रेडी है। तो सब लोग, हाँ सर, तो लेके आ जाओ। हाँ लेके आ जाए सर। तो जीप में बिठा के सब लोगों को लेके आए। तो 6 दिन का हमारा ट्रेनिंग हो चुका। लेकिन उनको मैंने बताया, अभी आपने बंद किया ना, अभी चोरी कुछ चाहिए क्या? नहीं चाहिए। तो कैसा बंद कर सकते हैं आप लोग? इसके लिए मैंने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लिया। इससे आगे किसी पुलिस ने आपको पकड़ लिया तो छुड़ाने वाला मैं हूं, वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मैंने लिया। तो उनको डाउट था, फिर भी हो सकता है क्या? नहीं सर, हमारा पुलिस लोग ऐसा नहीं, किधर भी चोरी हो गए तो हमको पकड़ के लेके आते हैं। नहीं, आप डरो मत, मैं हूं। रात 12 बजे भी फोन आता था, हनुमान नगर स्टेशन से फोन आ गया, सर हमको पकड़ लिया है सर, हनुमान नगर स्टेशन में है। तो मेरे बीवी ने बोला, देखो इतना रात को मत जाना, सुबह रिलीज कर सकते। नहीं नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं करना, उनको विश्वास आना है, इसके पहले जाना मैं। तो इसके पहले ही जाके 11:30 बजे उधर पहुंच गया और डीसीपी को फ़ोन किया, उनको रिलीज करवाया। तभी कॉन्फिडेंस उनको ज़्यादा हो गया। वो हो सकता है बाद में उनको क्या काम करने वाले आप, वो सभी सिखा दे। और बैंक में लोन लेके ऑटो दिलाने का काम, सब कुछ उनको रिहेबिलिटेशन करने के लिए, तभी वो लोग बाहर आ गए उससे। ऐसे ही हमारा बेंगलुरु सिटी में 184 लोग उसके बाहर आ गए, अभी चोरी नहीं कर रहे। ऐसे ही ये काम है ना, ले लिया वो समाप्त करने तक अंदर रहना। ऐसा ही मैं एक गांव में गया, मुझे ये रिवर रिजुवेनेशन के बारे में पता नहीं था। मैंने देखा था पानी नहीं है, कम हो गया। लेकिन एक लक्ष्मीपुर गांव गया था चिकमंगलुरु में, उधर उन्होंने मुझे एक कप पानी दिया। उसका पानी के ऊपर एक वाइट लेयर था, मुझे पता नहीं वो क्या है। हम कावेरी की पानी पी रहे, हमको पता नहीं रहता है, अच्छा पानी पी रहे। तो उन्होंने बताया ये फ्लोराइड है। तो मैंने बोला उसको बॉटल में डाल के दे दो, मैं टेस्ट के लिए भेजूंगा। मैं इधर मल्लेश्वर में उसको लैबोरेटरी में भेज दिया। उन्होंने बताया इतना फ्लोराइड कंटेंट है और आयरन कंटेंट भी ज़्यादा है, ये पीने का लायक नहीं है। तो मेरा सोच में लगा, इसको डाइल्यूट करने का भी, एसिड को डाइल्यूट करने के लिए पानी हम डालते हैं, ऐसा इसको डाइल्यूट करने के लिए कुछ तरीका है। तो बारिश का पानी उसमें गया तो डाइल्यूट हो जाता है, वो दिमाग में आ गया। तो ढूंढने के लिए शुरू किया, किसको ढूंढो अभी ये काम करने के लिए। तो लिंगराजू जी को पहचान था, लेकिन मुझे ये काम कर रहे उसका बारे में पता नहीं था। तो अय्यप्पा मसगी एक आदमी मिला, उससे जाके मैंने बात किया। उन्होंने मुझे समझाया, देखिए इधर 20 रिचार्ज वेल बनाना है, एक वाटर पूल बनाना है, इसका वजह से वो हम ठीक कर सकते हैं। लेकिन कुछ भी काम करने के लिए गांव में जाते हैं, बहुत स्टेक होल्डर्स है। एक करप्शन इंपॉर्टेंट, उधर मुखिया रहता है, मुझे कितना मिलता है इसमें, और मेंबर्स है, मुझे कितना मिलता है, पंचायती डेवलपमेंट ऑफिसर है, मुझे कितना मिलता है, बहुत शेयर होल्डर्स रहता है। उधर ब्लैकमेल, हमको भी ब्लैकमेल करने वाले हैं अंदर। ऐसा मैंने कैटेगरी देखा है गांव में, इतना कैटेगरी का लोग है, और उसमें अंदर गुंडा है। ये सब भी कैसा, इसके लिए हमारा आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग कोर्स एक बढ़िया टूल है। मैंने उनको सबको आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग कोर्स करवाया, सबको मिला दिया, और ये अयप्पा मस्जिद से उधर एक 20 रिचार्ज वेल, एक वाटर पूल बना दिया। तो बना के वाटर पूल हो गया और रिचार्ज वेल सभी बना दिया। वो दिन 3 दिन के बाद में अच्छा बारिश आ गया। बारिश आ गया, रात को 10 बजे एक फ़ोन कर रहा है, सर आपने वो रिचार्ज वेल बनाया ना, वो इतना पानी अंदर जा रहा है और रोड डैमेज हो रहा है, उसको बोलो बंद करने के लिए काम। तो मैं गया, पानी अंदर जा रहा था, बहुत पानी अंदर जा रहा था। तो कितना बहता है, वो बहती है, वो सभी अंदर जा रहा था। मुझे लगा ये तो बराबर हो रहा है, अभी इतना पानी अंदर जा रहा है तो कुछ तो अंदर जा रहा है ना, वो ये ठीक है। इसके बाद मुझे लगा, वो बाद में रिपेयरिंग कर दिया उसको, रोड कर सभी। तो मुझे लगा उसके एक इनॉग्रेशन फंक्शन रखा, तो उसके एक 100 किलोमीटर के आगे हमने एक बोरवेल लगा दिया। हम देखते हैं उसमें 60 फीट में पानी आ गया, बहुत अच्छा पानी आ गया, सब लोग खुश हो गए, लोगों गांव का। फिर वो पानी टेस्ट करने के लिए मलेश्वर में एक लैबोरेटरी में, वही लैबोरेटरी में दिया, तो उन्होंने बोला ये पानी पीने के लिए लायक है। उसके बाद मैं देखा कुछ करना है, हो सकता है, तो सीधा बस पकड़ के रेलेगांव सीधी पूना निकल गया। पूना में जाके सीधा बस पकड़ के रेलेगांव सिद्धि, मुझे देखा ही नहीं गांव, अकेला रेलेगांव सिद्धि में उतर गया और लोगों से बात करने के लिए शुरू किया। और कुएं में इतना पानी था, भरपूर पानी, बहुत खुश हो गया। ओ अच्छा काम। और अन्ना हजारे से मिला, उन्होंने 1 घंटा 1 to 1 मुझे बता दिया। बाद में लिंगराजू जी का बारे में, वो रिवर रिजुवेनेशन के बारे में बता रहे थे, तभी उन्होंने मुझे बताया ऐसा करने से। तो तभी मैंने लकिया होबली में एक एक्शन प्लान उन्होंने बना के दिया, सर्वे किया, लिंगराजू जी ने बहुत काम किया, सर्वे करके एक्शन प्लान रेडी करके दिया। एक्शन प्लान रेडी हो गया तो सरकार से कैसा करो, फिर फाइल लेके घूमने का काम। 2012 से 2013 1.5 साल तक फाइल लेके, ये ऑफिस से वो ऑफिस, वो ऑफिस से ये ऑफिस, सब लोग हमारा इसमें नहीं होता है, हमारा इसमें ये नहीं है, तो कैसा करने का। तो मैं एक दिन RDPR ऑफिस गया था, उनसे भी बात किया, उन्होंने बोला इसमें नहीं होता है। तो उधर मैंने मनरेगा का बुक देखा, वो बुक लेके मैं सीधा घर आ गए के जाके पढ़ने के लिए शुरू किया। उधर एक अनस्किल्ड लेबर एक डिमांड देता है, फॉर नंबर 6 देता है, उसको काम देना ही है, वो मैंने देखा। ये तो परफेक्ट शूट हो जाता है ये काम के लिए। सीधा मैं फाइल बना के सभी रेडी कर दिया, और हर दिन सुबह से शाम तक, रात तक गांव में घूमने के लिए शुरू किया। 49 विलेज में सब लोग मुझे जानते हैं, मेरा टीम बना दिया, मेरा लोगों को इकट्ठा किया, मेरा युवाचार्य बनाया, उनको ट्रेनिंग दिया कैसा बात करने का लोगों से। ये इकट्ठा करके वो गांव में, सभी गांव में एक तो ग्राम सभा बुलाना है, मुझे वो पता लगा। ग्राम सभा बुलाने के लिए ग्राम सभा में अप्रूव होना है, ये भी और एक मुश्किल शुरू हो गया। तभी बहुत सारे लोग हैं स्टेक होल्डर्स, इधर बीजेपी, इधर कांग्रेस, इधर जेडीएस। ये यस बोल दिया तो वो नो बोलने वाले हैं। तो उसके लिए मैंने गांव का लोगों को इकट्ठा किया और इकट्ठा करके उनको समझा दिया, देखिए कल हम ग्राम सभा बुला रहे हैं, तो ग्राम सभा में आप सब लोग पहले बैठना है, किसी को जगह नहीं देना है, और मैं जो कुछ बोलता हूँ यस बोलना है। हाँ अच्छा। तो सब लोग बैठ गए ग्राम सभा में। मैंने पहले ही उनको रेडी करके रखा था, मैं रिवर रिजुवेनेशन का एक्शन प्लान समझाता हूँ, सब लोग यस बोलना है, करना ही है, बोलना है। अच्छा सर। तो पहले एक सिंधगिरी में ग्राम सभा हो गए, तो उसमें उन्होंने सब लोगों ने यस बोल के ग्राम सभा अप्रूवल हो गया। ग्राम सभा अप्रूवल हो गया तो मैं जाके सीधा एनआरई जी का अदर डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल जिला पंचायत सीईओ करुणाकरण थे, उनको समझा दिया, सर ऐसा है, ग्राम सभा अप्रूवल किया एक्शन प्लान। लेकिन उन्होंने मना किया, देखिए ये कॉन्सेप्ट है ना, ये आपका मेथोडोलॉजी हमारा बुक में नहीं है। और एक मुसीबत, तो क्या करना है? तो मैंने एक दिन क्या किया, उधर सिंधगिरी एक गांव में ये रिवर रिजुवेनेशन के लिए एक रिचार्ज वेल बनाने के लिए किसी से पैसा मांगा, और लोगों को मैंने पहले ही लोगों को इकट्ठा किया, उन लोगों से बता दिया मैंने, आप करो, काम करो, कितना चाहिए इसका? नहीं सर 20 फीट 6 फीट 20 फीट खोदने के लिए हमको 9,000 चाहिए। अच्छा 9,000 दे दो, काम शुरू करो। और रिंग सभी लेके आया, और वो नाला के अंदर ड्रेनेज पानी आ रहा था, उधर ब्लॉक कर दिया मैंने, ड्रेनेज का पानी दिखाना है ना अभी। तो मीडिया लोगों को इकट्ठा किया, बस में बिठाया, उन चाय पानी पिला के सब मस्त करके बस में बिठाया, और सीईओ को और सभी ऑफिशियल्स बिठा के है ना वो गांव में लेके गए, वो प्रोग्राम बना दिया। और उधर हमारा डैम बना है ना छोटा, वो ओपन कर दिया, पानी अंदर जाने शुरू हो गया। हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है, पानी अंदर जा रहा है, जा रहा है सर, बिल्कुल परफेक्ट जा रहा है। हाँ ये, लेकिन वो रेडी नहीं फिर, तो और काम करने शुरू किया, फिर शुरू किया। और एआईटी कॉलेज का प्रिंसिपल सुब्बैया है, वो सिविल इंजीनियर पीएचडी, मैं उनके पास गया, सर ये मेथोडोलॉजी ठीक है ना सर? पानी तो अंदर जा रहा है, ये वही होना है ना, हम कितना बारिश का पानी आता है अंदर जाना, वही मेथोडोलॉजी करना मुझे, मैं तो साइंटिस्ट नहीं, साइंटिस्ट लोगों ने बता दिया ऐसा हो रहा है। तो फिर उन्होंने सब उनका प्रोफेसर लोगों को, आप लेके जाके दिखाओ सभी, मैंने उनको लेके गया, देखो देखो कैसा है, ठीक है ठीक है, ये परफेक्ट है। तो उन्होंने फ़ोन कर दिया इंजीनियर, एग्जीक्यूटिव इंजीनियर को, ये परफेक्ट मॉडल है। तो वो मैंने उनको परस्यू करके वो उनका बुक में डाल दिया। अभी सामर्थ्य बुक में जो कुछ आप लोग बोल रहे हैं ना, रिवर रिजुवेनेशन दूसरा जगह में हो रहा है, वो लिंगराज जी का कॉन्सेप्ट है, वो हमने वो बुक में अंदर डाल दिया है। उसके बारे में ये एक रिवर रिजुवेनेशन का एक्शन प्लान परफेक्ट उधर एग्जीक्यूट हो गया, वो 10 ग्राम पंचायती में वो एग्जीक्यूशन हो गया। उसके बाद बहुत सारी इश्यूज है गांव में, पानी आता है, पानी नहीं रहता है, लेकिन उनका जीवन का बदलाव करना चाहता था। ऐसा ही मैं उनके बारे में, जॉब कार्ड का होल्डर्स नहीं है, हम कुछ भी करते हैं, लेकिन उधर कंट्रैक्ट रहता है गांव में, गांव का मुखिया मेंबर सभी कंट्रैक्ट है एनआरई जी का, वो लोग ही जेसीबी कराना। फिर हमने नहीं छोड़ा उन लोगों को, हमने गांव में है ना 40 लोगों का एक टीम बनाया। तो एनआरई जी वर्कर इंटरेस्टेड कौन है, उन लोगों का टीम बना के, और टीम के तरीके से उनका काम दिया। देखो आप फॉर नंबर 6 दे, हमारा ही टीम बना दिया, और टीम के मुताबिक उनको बना दिया। 8 लोगों का एक टीम बना के उनको एक एक काम एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए बोल दिया। तभी अच्छा मैंडेट्स क्रिएट हो गया, तभी जिला पंचायत सब लोग खुश हो गए, क्योंकि एनआरई जी है ना, तो मैन्युअली करने के लिए तो मशीनरी यूज़ नहीं करना, 60-40 रेशियो है, और मशीनरी यूज़ नहीं करना, ये सिस्टम से उधर एग्जीक्यूट होने के बाद में पीसी रे साहब और मुदगिल साहब ने बोला तो होल इंडिया कर्नाटक के लिए लेना है। तो कर्नाटक के लिए उतना कैपेसिटी नहीं, हमारा पास उतना मैन पावर नहीं था। मैंने बताया हम वेदावती कंप्लीट कैचमेंट लेंगे, तो अभी हमने 5,400 किलोमीटर का एरिया, 1090 गांव हैं। उधर हम 640 लोगों को ट्रेनिंग देके, सभी गांव में एक एक आदमी है, उसका नीचे 40 हमारा जॉब कार्ड होल्डर्स है, वो लोग काम कर रहे हैं अभी। तो सरकार का पैसा आने का लेट हो जाता है। तो देखिए कंट्रैक्टर लोग को पैसा 4 महीने के बाद में आ गए तो परवाह नहीं है, लेकिन मजदूरी करते हैं ना, उनको 1 हफ्ते के अंदर पैसा आना है, वो नहीं हो रहा है। एनआरजी का पैसा आज आ गया, फिर 2 महीने के बाद आ जाता है। तो सरकार इधर हम पूछते हैं, नहीं सर फंड नहीं है, मटेरियल फंड नहीं है, लेबर फंड नहीं है। तो हम और रविंद्र भी बहुत बार हम दिल्ली जाके आ गए और एनआरजी सेक्रेटरी से भी बात किया, देखो ऐसा हो गया तो काम बंद हो जाता है, रुकावट हो जाता है, लोगों को तुरंत पैसा चाहिए। ऐसा हमारा रिवर रिजुनेशन का काम शुरू हो गया और खुश लग रहा है मुझे अभी। और हमारा सुब्रमण्य सर आए थे तो उन्होंने हमको बता दिया, ये काम आगे कंप्लीट होने के बाद 3-4 साल के बाद ये रिवर तो डेफिनेटली बहे, वो हम रिवर देख सकते हैं, एटलीस्ट 4 से 5 महीना तक बहती हुई रिवर को हम देख सकते हैं। वो उन्होंने बताया, हम इतना खुश हो गए, ज़रूर हम वो देखना चाहते हैं। ये हम करेंगे, सब लोग कर सकते हैं, लेकिन अंदर है ना, मैं देखना चाहता हूँ, वो आना है पहले। मैं कैसा करूँ उसके बारे में, तभी हम काम कर सकते। बहुत सारी हर्डल्स है, आप कुछ भी काम करने के लिए जाते हैं, इतना स्टेक होल्डर रहते हैं गांव में। इसके लिए हमने वो काम से शुरू किया। बाद में ये लोगों को ट्रेन करने के लिए शुरू किया, स्किल ट्रेनिंग को, उनको YLTP ट्रेनिंग दे दिया, स्किलिंग कर दिया उन लोगों को। उसके बाद हम नाबार्ड के तरफ से 4 फार्म प्रोड्यूसर्स कंपनी, वो लेबरर्स है, वो लेबरर्स लेके हम उनको फार्म प्रोड्यूसर्स कंपनी, उनको डायरेक्टर बना दिया। बहुत खुश है, लिमिटेड कंपनी का डायरेक्टर है ना, सब लोग खुश है। और डायरी बना दिया, अभी A2 मिल्क बेंगलोर आ रहा है, उधर चिलिंग यूनिट डाल दिया। ऐसा ही हम कुछ भी हम गांव में कर सके, लेकिन वो हर एक आदमी को पहुंचना चाहिए, हर एक आदमी से 1-to-1 कांटेक्ट रहना चाहिए। इसके लिए हमने वही गांव को लड़के को हमने ट्रेनिंग दिया और उनको बोला, उससे उसका गांव का कंप्लीट सर्वे करने के लिए बता दिया। अभी हमने बहुत सारे सर्वे लिया है, हमारे पास गांव का हर एक आदमी का सर्वे है, उसका पिताजी का क्या काम कर रहे हैं, उसका काम क्या है, कितना खेत है, उसका मिट्टी का क्वालिटी क्या है, क्या खेती बाड़ी करता है, कितना बच्चे हैं, क्या पढ़ रहे हैं, सब डेटा लिया। और उसका डेटा लेके उसमें 40 लोगों को सिलेक्शन किया हमने। वो 40 लोगों का लीडर है ये विलेज कोऑर्डिनेटर। उसका तरीके से हम अभी काम कर रहे हैं। तो आपको जो कुछ काम करना है उसमें हो जाएगा, वो लीडर ही बता देगा, उसको पता है। हम सिलेक्शन करते हैं, वो लड़का है ना, वो गांव का 40% लोगों को बहुत फ्रेंडली रहना है, नहीं तो नहीं हो सकता है। इसका बात मानने के लिए कोई नहीं रेडी नहीं रहता है। इसके लिए वो एक तरीका बना दिया। और मैं अभी प्लान कर रहा हूँ, हम लोग ने एक टीम बनाया, डॉक्टर उदय कोलीमठ है हमारा, उसको बहुत सारी आइडिया रहता है, उसको साथ में लेके एक विलेज लैब एक कॉन्सेप्ट बनाए और डिजिटल इंडिया और डबलिंग द फार्मर्स इनकम के लिए 4 साल तक हम एक ऑफिस में बैठ के शाम हर सैटरडे बैठ के है ना ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करने का, कैसा गरीबों को अमीर बना सकते हैं। इसके लिए एक अच्छा प्लान आ चुका है। अभी हम कैसा करते हैं, अभी आगे हम रविंद्र देसाई उसके बारे में बताते हैं। और सब कुछ है ना गांव में कर सकते हैं, इतना इजी है, लेकिन क्यों नहीं हो रहा है। उधर पंचायती मुखिया रहते हैं, सब लोग, उनका सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट ज़्यादा रहता है। अब स्वच्छ भारत अभियान मैंने देखा है, स्वच्छ भारत अभियान से टॉयलेट बनाना है, लेकिन टॉयलेट बनाने के लिए उसको पैसा किसने दिया, उसको दारू के लिए पैसा है, लेकिन उसको टॉयलेट बनाने के लिए पैसा नहीं रहता है, अंडा पहला है मुर्गी पहला है, ऐसा उसका बिना पैसा वो बना नहीं सकता है। सरकार बोलता है तुम बनाओ, बाद में हम पैसा देते हैं, तो हो नहीं सकता है सभी। इसके लिए हम प्रॉपर प्लान बनाना पड़ेगा। ऐसा रिवर रिजुनेशन का हम अभी बैलोंगला प्रारंभ कर रहे हैं। लोगों को इकट्ठा करने का है ना, इतना मुसीबत का काम है, इतना स्टेक होल्डर, इतना अंदर आप काम करने जाते दूसरा लोग काम करने नहीं देते हैं, ऐसा सभी रहता है। ये सभी इससे बाहर आना है। हम ये आर्ट ऑफ लिव की तरफ से हमने सक्सेस किया, आर्ट ऑफ लिव की तरफ से हमने उनका ये नॉलेज दे के हमने ये सक्सेस करवाया। अभी हमारा कर्नाटक का 22 डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ये रिवर रिजुनेशन का काम करने वाले हैं आगे। अभी कावेरी का रिवर रिजुनेशन नेक्स्ट मंथ से प्रारंभ हो जाएगा। ये हमारा सक्सेस वो भी लिंगराजू का जी का डायरेक्शन से, उनका टीम का डायरेक्शन से हम नीचे एग्जीक्यूशन करने वाले एक टीम बनाए हैं, उसका वजह से ये काम हो रहा है। थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी।
I think you need a louder, big clap. Obstacles in governance. He has also clearly spelled out how to overcome that. Thank you very much, Nagaraj, for excellent presentation. I invite Mr. Ravindra Desai, Director, Government and Corporate Relation, RRP, River Rejuvenation. Desai is a good friend of mine. We are meeting quite often, discussing several issues. I am sure he will also reveal many things, how to overcome the man-made problems, not only to the nature and also even the governance and administration for fellow human beings, how our own species, I am a forest officer, I have not seen any single species like human beings. There is an amount of understanding in the forest, but somehow here it is rather difficult to get harmony in the society. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Nagaraju was talking to you about the people side of the story, right? Yesterday we were all talking about technical aspects in terms of how to get the water, how to increase the supply of water, how to enrich the groundwater. But the important aspect of the water is also to handle the demand side. There were a few questions yesterday about the demand side. How do you contain? How do you manage? So the important aspect, what it seems, as yesterday discussed, is the water management. Once we have the supply side increased, enriched, we have to handle the demand side as well. So when we started working with the people on ground, we understood various problems, what they have in terms of managing it. It's so easy for us to tell, oh, this is the water budget what we have, use it accordingly. But they may not listen to you until you give them the ways to do it. So that's exactly what we started working with. And he shared few of the experiences. Those were tremendous experiences what we have seen. As you're saying, one of the farmer came running to us midnight and says his borewell, which was dry for last 4 years, sprung up. There was a fountain of water in his fields. That was a kind of an experience we could talk to, relate to. We were so happy, we were so excited. And we then talked about taking it across India, and wherever the possibilities would be. But when we started doing so, the important aspect, as I said, was if, say tomorrow, this farmer who came so happily when we decided, and we had also the problems of demand side. So we said, this guy who is working for you should sustain himself. So that was another reason why we wanted to get on to the few of the ideas each of these villages. And he looks into them, which means he takes care of the entire family and their upliftment. This guy becomes the key coordinator for us to manage these 40 families and see their financial upliftment. With that as an idea, we created something called Village Labs. We were experimenting, right? I mean, this is the whole experiment at the social side. We called it Village Lab. So we wanted to basically bring all the people together, be it economists, the bankers, the legal experts, industrial experts, financial experts, and many environmentalists, technocrats, all of them, and put a plan in place to help this activity on the demand side of the water to be handled well. The reason why I again say, if I have to repeat, I'm sorry, but this is very vital. The demand side, if I say a farmer don't grow the water intensive crops like paddy, like sugarcane, he will certainly not listen to you. He will say, get lost, right? That most of us have seen. Why would he? Once there is a predictable, earning, yield, and his earning ratios have been maintained, he's happy with that. He does not want to experiment. He has enough risk on hand to take care. So he will not certainly listen to you. So what did we do is to, again, put an idea to utilize all the government line department projects, schemes in place to put some programs. And that is when we kind of designed a village lab program, as we call. That basically gives you two things. One, to bring about, to sustain the village coordinator, okay? And second, those 40 families who are associated and the farmers of that community as well. So it is an integrated program with the water project and takes to the next level, bringing people together. Finance, economy is a key current thing. Until we provide that sustainability, nobody will come along with you. So that's being the crux, that's being the premise. We put up few of the programs. One was the diary. As Nagaraji was saying, we started 4 farm producing organizations, and it comes through that we started a dairy industry. How A2 milk. A2 milk is in much demand in the cities. So we got Gir cows from Gujarat, supplied it on to the villagers, these 40 families what we are talking about, and started collecting milk and supplying it back to city. So how did we do it? That's another interesting part. If the farmer has to buy a cow, say it with all the transport insurance, coming from Gujarat to their place in Karnataka, which was Chikmagalur, it would cost them 60,000. So farmer cannot handle that. So we have to go for loans. If he has to go for loans, the bankers will not give him the loan because he's already on the loan which he has not paid. So we had to again work it out to see what would be the ways to help him out to get the loan. And that's when Nagaraji went, talked to these bank people and say, we'll do a tripartite thing. We being in the center, farming, helping the produce of the farmer to be marketed and establish a relevant, earnings from that. And all that earnings channeled through the bank, given back to the farmer, which means he sells milk today, it comes to city through Village Lab. Village Lab handles the customer side, sells it off, gets the money, puts it back into the FPO, and from FPO it relates it back to the farmer. Which means this whole cycle of finance, the handling of cash, is digitized, point number one. Second, the banker is sure, the bank guys are sure that the money goes through him, he can deduct his loan, whatever repayments for the loans are, and give it back to the farmer. So farmer gets a sustainable income, the banker is happy giving the loan, and he is happy also to reach his targets, because most of the banking in the farming area is difficult because they cannot get it back. So we are helping them to reach their targets in the rural area as well. So he started going with us, giving these loans. Like for example, recently, just 15 days back, Nagaji, we got some hundreds of cows from Gujarat. And the transaction was so easy and simple. No farmer had to go himself to the bank, all paperwork done, things were smooth. So what has happened now to this farmer, that with this, he got the milk, he got the money, he got the earnings. So two things. One, he got the livestock improved upon. He has now the better cow dung, urine as a fertilizers for his field as well. And he has good income. Say, for example, we used to, KMF gives them 25 to 28 or 30 even these days. We started increasing that amount to almost 10 rupees above that and said, okay, this is how it should work. And he is now, will be with us, continue with us to take it forward. So that was one of the dairy program. The second thing is about the coconut oil. One of these areas, what we had was rich with coconuts. There was tons of coconuts available, and we had a possibility of putting a small-scale industry. That's cold press oil, right? And we did not do anything. We did the same thing repeated again. We financed him through banks. He got the cold press unit established, and he's supplying that to us. We ensure, label it, market, brand it, and get it to the market. So this is the essential part of it. So that was one thing. Third thing was about millets. Millets is another important part. So because we have to encourage growing millets for the reason he can avoid water-intensive crops. So many of the farmers, when there was not much of water, started coming back to us, started growing millets, and now they are supplying those millets to us. We supply that back to the customers, brand it, and same thing happening, the same cycle continues. So these are the various measures which we can take and help him out. Another good example, what we did was with the vegetable marketing. The vegetables in Chikmagalur comes to Bangalore, right? And most of them have a dealers. What we did, this is where I say, oh, the technology can help. Yesterday, Pratap Hegde sir was talking about how technology can help, how IoT can help. This example I would showcase as one thing, how technology would help. Also, bring the youth of the village to participate. The vegetable marketing, what we did, we asked this FPO, couple of farmers to load a truck, come down to city, and supply direct to the customer. What is that we did? We gave him the marketplace. The marketplace for him to go to a specific set of apartments, market it. We gave him a truck with brand and all that, and do it. So everyone does it. What's so different about it? We gave him certain tools. I come from the IT, and there are many IT friends of mine working with us. So we developed a small tool to help him do a supply chain and the point of sale management. Small Android-based. Every youth in the village has an Android phone today, right? So we gave them that tool. He enters all the vegetables loaded into truck, says done. Then what vegetables are coming to city, that SMS notification goes directly to the end customers where he is registered to, and say, this is the truck coming at your apartment at 10 o'clock with these kind of load. And he can, the next stage of our thing is, we are planning to create an app where he can even order content from him. This logistics is being built so that whatever he produces directly comes to the end customer. So we will cut down a lot of activities in between where he can have an outreach, reach to the end customer. So that's another important aspect of it. The second part of it, when we found so many people coming to us, say this is a good possibility, we can work with you. We thought of creating an e-platform where farmers can sell their produce online. So buyers are registered, sellers are registered, and he can just sell that online as is. And we are working on certain logistics in terms of how do we work with the cold storages. Cold storages managed by a single farmer is too expensive. So we are saying how community can get together to handle that possibility. And even to the cold storage, what is the economical part of the cold storage? Are there any technologies that would not be a power guzzlers like one which we have now? There are. And we are trying to bring that in to help the farmer out and say, oh, he can store this at the common place and sell it off electronically, digitized. So this kind of a program, we kind of started off. And to do all of this, we would need an interface. In village, no matter what I talk of, digitizing, electronical, all that apps, but we need a human connection. So to do that human connection, we have an outlet open. We call it a Village Lab outlet. This outlet is an interface to procure from the farmer and to sell what others have produced too. So this becomes, as Pratap Hegdese was talking about, we are coming to a place where we can do a barter system electronically, right? Using technology, basically. So that kind of interfaces have been built right now. We are experimenting this with 3 villages, and this would be expanded in the next few months to 20 villages. And we'll make this repeatable. It's not just we have to do it. We'll package this. As Uday was telling me other day, we call it a toolbox, which is ready-made, available for people to replicate it, right? So this is being built, this is being considered. So this way, we can work with the farmers, get him associated, handle his demand side of water. Now coming back to demand side, which I didn't talk much, how do I help? Now the next stage, by the next year around this time, probably a year from now, which I mean, we would be putting these people who are now coming together, the farmers, get them into a possibility of community farming, thereby reducing the cost of farming, and also attach it with the possibility of the market and produce the way the market would need, or likewise, right? So these are the few of the programs which we are planning, which we have been in place. That is what Nagaraj was talking about. We put a think tank to put all this together. So that is on right now, and we are experimenting with the 3 villages. We have seen some success. As I said, the A2 milk is on, vegetable would be on soon. So these kind of programs, as I say, help the farmer to be part of our program. As I said, the River Rejuvenation project. I will quickly, okay. As I said, how do we do this? Basically motivate people. Our key motivator, Nagaraj, when he experimented with working with the villagers, how to motivate them. We have made a team of them. We cannot clone him, but we tried to close to do that possibility and see how we can increase that. And we had been to many other states. We recently did a field study in Odisha. Odisha, we are almost in a advanced stage of discussion with Odisha to start a river rejuvenation work in Odisha. We had been there, and we talked to farmers, and he immediately talked about his problems. Now we have a channel. He's supplying his jaggery, the organic jaggery and turmeric to us, which we could market. As I say, this is becoming easy and easy with technology, with various possibilities and logistics built in. So various people coming on board, tea technologists, as I said, Pratap Hegde sir was part of us, giving us some ideas. There are various other technology people, somebody from Mysore, who's our Art of Living teacher, heads a technology company who's helping us build apps. So various of this, associations to coming together has made this possible. And I welcome most of you to come to join us and take it to other areas as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Desai. So now, every villager, most of the ladies also are gain knowledge about mobile phones, internet, this, that, etc. And they have shown a way how to connect producer, consumer, and how to utilize the technology available. Excellent. If there are any questions, we will discuss later. Now, I would like to take about 1 or 2 minutes after the presentation of the two very eminent speakers who have really came up with a good package of practices which is country badly in need. Right from the first plan, they have spent huge amount, huge money for energy. Energy, energy, energy and energy, even today energy. Last year's the development GDP shows that thermal power plants, mining, coal plant, the thermal power plants mining is the highest thing. And I think it is a time for us to think about energy versus water. How much time, how much of money, how much of technology is going into the water? Water versus energy. I think yesterday, one of the speakers, we can live without power. Can we live without water? So Michael Dombeck, a very eminent hydrologist, you know Mr. Dombeck. Michael Dombeck in America robustly intervened with the Bush government and also several other governments and educated them. We have a plan to form 8,000 kilometers of the road to improve communication. Okay, communication, okay. Now this 8,000 kilometers, if you cut across, what is going to happen to the water? He has studied, he is convinced. Now they have changed their plan. So Michael Dombeck is one of the very eminent hydrologists. He has done a marvelous work. So it is a time for all of us to think. What is our priority today? Now I will request Mr. Rao to introduce next speaker, and he will, I think, take some time to highlight his views. I think he will introduce, and we request him to cut short because of the co-chair and myself have to give some concluding remarks.
Thank you, sir. Let me have the privilege to introduce Sri M.V. Ponnaraj, Director, Abdul Kalam Movement, Evolution of National Smart Waterways Grid, leading to sustainable prosperity of the nation. Of the big contribution which has given mention in this list, however, I will brief him. Mr. V. Ponnaraj served as a scientist from Aeronautical Development Agency, DRODO, Ministry of Defense, Bangalore. And he was the Director, Technology Interface in the President's Secretariat when Dr. Kalam was the President of India. And he is the mentor for Abdul Kalam Vision India movement. And he have many more contributions. He is an expert in ICT in the domains such as aeronautic simulations, virtual reality, networking, etc.
I think enough, sir.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
one
very
more
limited.
very important contributions. And he was also expert member in Shyam Prakash Mukherjee Urban Mission of Government of India under Ministry of Rural Development. Thank you very much, sir. I once again welcome you, Mr. Ponnaraj, for this conference. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm very happy to get a chance to interact with the conference, River Rejuvenation Conference, with all the delegates. My greetings to the chair, co-chair, and the other speakers, and the panel members, and the distinguished guests. My topic of interest is a little bit different from the river rejuvenation. I would like to share some thoughts on the work what we did on the evolution of the national smart waterways grid, leading to sustainable prosperity of the nation. Before getting into that subject, I would like to share one event. In 2011, we went for a Agni failure analysis to the Balasur, not Balasur, this is in the Orissa. We went for a Wheeler Island. Agni 5 was filed at the first launch. There was a meeting, there was a failure analysis. 10 o'clock is the meeting. Dr. Kalam and myself and the DRDO chairman and everybody was there. Before we go for the meeting, Dr. Kalam took me on the way he took me to a place. He said, I am going to show you one thing what I did in a small way. I was surprised. I was asking, what is that, sir? He said, you wait till I show you. Then he stopped on the way in the car and he took me to a place where full of forest, trees. He took me inside and there was a huge lake, 28-acre, a huge lake with beautiful biodiversity, beautiful life, animals, birds. There was a boat and beautiful trees. It was a beautiful climate. I was asked, this is where you used to come and for a regular walk? I asked him. He said, no, this is what I have created when I landed here in the Wheeler Island. The Wheeler Island was given to him for interim test range to test the missiles. So he said, when I came here, there was nothing in this island. I felt I have to create a beautiful forest here. I have to create a lake here. I have to create a lively lake. That's what he said. It is not the question of reviving a pond or reviving a lake. We have to create a life in the lake. So this is what he showed me. A complete biodiversity, beautiful birds, and a beautiful biodiversity was existing in the 28-acre lake that has been created by him. And that has kindled many more curiosity because he used to advocate, give life to lakes and ponds. Whoever comes and meet him, he used to give an advice, give a life. So the rejuvenation practice what you have initiated, and many of the speakers have shared their experiences and the technological innovations and its social impact. Certainly, we have to ensure the liveliness in the lakes and the ponds. Today, majority of our cities and the villages, all the lakes are filled with the drainage water. We do not have a stormwater drainage system separately and a drainage system separately. Everything is mixed together, and finally the entire drainage is getting filled with a lake or a pond, wherever it is, which kills the life in the ponds and the lakes. And certainly after Dr. Kalam's departure, we have started a small movement in his name, Abdul Kalam Vishanidya movement. And today we also started some work in rejuvenating the lakes and the ponds. And in this connection, we have taken number of steps, and we have Dr. U.P. Sendil Kumar under his leadership in Kadalur district, a flood-affected district. We are rejuvenating number of lakes and the ponds and providing a safe, clean drinking water to 24 villages in Kadalur district. And with Mr. Muthuchami and his team, Mr. Charles J.R. Akiraj and Brahmanayagam and other team, they have come here. Under their leadership, we are trying to do a water audit in each and every village and trying to create a water ecosystem. It is not only reviving the pond, but also creating a life into that, and how to do that. Under one Mr. Naresh Kumar, with his leadership, we are trying to create a clean, green clinic. It is called a green clinic, using the solid liquid resource management system by ensuring a clean environment in the villages and the cities. And it has got a Prime Minister Award in the Coimbatore Kudambalayam village. He has got a Prime Minister Award for that work. And now we have adopted a hill near Amaravati Dam. And in association with the Tamil Nadu School Department, Salem and Tripur School Education Department, we have created 17 lakh seed balls with the help of 10,000 students from 300 schools. And we have showed these seed balls into the Jambukal Karadu hill with the 20-kilometer range, and try to create a deep and dense forest in the hills so that it can attract the cloud. So these are some of the small initiatives that we have taken towards rejuvenation of our forest, our hills and rivers, and then lakes and ponds. Now, this is the preamble. Now let me come to the subject. As you already aware, we have abundant water, yes, but very limited fresh water. 97% salt water and maybe around 2.5% the fresh water, out of which the fresh water which is available under the ground and the lakes and the ponds is less than 1%. If you look at the countries, the top 5 countries with the most fresh water is Brazil, is the first one. Next is Russia, third United States, fourth Canada, and fifth China. These are the 5 countries, top 5 countries who are having a fresh water, most fresh water. And if you look at this slide, a global water stress by 2030, the green is all no water stress countries, and the yellow is low water stress, and red moderate water stress, and the dark red is severe water stress countries. If you look at India, we are fully water stressed nation, and and look at the middle part is completely water stressed nation. So, the Third World War is going to be only on the water. That's what everybody is talking about. But how do we save the Third World War from the water? By 2025, nearly 1/4 of the world population is expected to be living in countries or regions with absolute water scarcity. And 2/3 of the world population could be under the conditions of stress. Could desalination, drip water irrigation, water reuse, and better water management change this equation? That is a question today. Every drop counts. On average, the world population is growing by 80 million people a year. This increased demand for fresh water by about 64 million cubic meters a year. Competition for this water exists all over the world. Competition for this water exists all over the world, and it is a vital we make a few easy everyday changes to help reduce the water wastage in our homes and workplaces. So, we have one Mr. Prasad who is working on how to promote water consumption and conservation and saving in the villages and at the home by using the students. It has been taking up. So, it is everyone's responsibility to conserve the water, to save the water, and to ensure better water management exists everywhere. And if you look at, there are multiple layers of water management system. From the top on the mountain, and then on the river, then on the lakes and the ponds, and then finally in the sea. The entire ecosystem, we have to preserve the ecosystem. Now if you look at, in the world, if you look at, there is an Amazon river, approximately 6,400 kilometers. This is the Amazon river in the next is the Nile river, we have seen. The longest river in the world stretching north for 6,650 kilometers. Then if you look at, in China, Yangtze river, which is around, the river is about 6,300 kilometers long. And in India, we have Ganges, Brahmaputra, and many other rivers, which you all aware about it. In Mississippi river, if you look at, this is around 3,730 kilometers long. And effective water management is the immediate solution for water crisis. No water, no life. So if you look at our Indian scenario, India, so far we have constructed around 84 big dams, which can store up to 154 billion cubic meter of water. 84 big dams, which can store only 154 billion cubic meter of water. And you have already number of proposals were there. As soon as Dr. Kalam has become the 11th President of India, the first assignment he gave me is to study this interlinking of rivers mission. There are many proposals was lying. The proposals from the Dr. K.L. Rao and the proposal from the Captain Dastur, which I don't want to go into detail, which every one of you know about the proposals. And now this interlinking of rivers, there are many increased cultivation, increased power generation, flood and drought control. There are many things which I don't want to go into detail due to the paucity of the time. Now look at the flood and the drought situation. Now nearly in India, we have 4,000 billion cubic meter of water every year we are getting the water. Out of which, nearly if you look at 1,500 billion cubic meter of water goes to sea due to flood. And only 370 billion cubic meter of water which is available for our reuse. The flood affects 8 major river valleys spread over 40 million hectares of area in the country, affecting 260 million people. The drought affects 86 million people in 14 states covering 116 districts. But if you look at last year's statistics, Totally around 25 states got affected by drought and more than 500 districts got affected by drought. This is the last year's statistics. And how to managing the flood. So, to manage the flood, 1,500 billion cubic meter of water which goes to sea every year, only within 3 to 4 months and 14 days rain. Whether you like it or not, the 14 days rain in all the 3-4 seasons, within 14 days rain, 1,500 billion cubic meter of water which goes to sea, whether we like it or not. More than thousands of crores have been spent to manage the flood and the water. Now, on the water management front, so what is available for us on every year basis? We have 370 billion cubic meter of surface water and 430 billion cubic meter of groundwater, which is totally inadequate for 100% irrigation, sanitation, and quality of potable water. So what we need is an appropriate water management by interlinking of rivers, or what are the other means we have to explore. So there is a third proposal which has been initiated by Professor Kamaraj, and he submitted a proposal to Dr. Kalam, and he gave me the proposal. I started studying the proposal, and then we find an alternative proposal for an interlinking of rivers. So, which can certainly harness around 30 billion cubic meter of water per year. Now, why we need this interlinking of rivers, or whether the alternative proposal of smart waterways grid, what is the necessity? What is the need for that? Now, if you look at the per capita availability of water in India in 1951, the per capita availability of water is 5,177 cubic meter. By 2011, it has drastically reduced to 1,500 cubic meter. In 2025, it is estimated, with reference to the proportional population expansion, it is estimated 1,340 cubic meter is the need of the hour. It may come down. By 2050, it may further reduce and it will be less than 1,000 cubic meter. But what is needed? By 2025, we need at least 2,500 cubic meter per capita in water. By 2050, we need 5,000 cubic meter per capita water availability in India. If you look at in USA, today they have a storage capacity, per capita storage capacity in USA is 5,000 cubic meter. In China, 1,000 cubic meter. In Mexico, 1,000 cubic meter. But in India, we have less than that. So, how to match and how to achieve the 5,000 cubic meter, what we had in 1951, we are envisaging in 2050. Nearly 100 years later, we are trying to achieve 5,000 cubic meter of water per capita. So that is why we need to initiate the program of interlinking of rivers program. And today, if you look at how to harness, the question, the major challenge is how to harness the 1,500 billion cubic meter of water, the flood water. That is a major challenge. Interlinking of rivers, even if you interlink all the rivers, the only thing what we can do is to store 150 billion cubic meter, that is 1/10 of the water only is possible to store. We can store only 1/10 of the water in our 84 big dams. The rest of the 9%, that is 9 times of the water will certainly go to sea. Certainly sea also need to be rejuvenated, and we don't want all 100% water to be stored in our storage tank. We want at least 40% of the 1,500 BCM, whether we can save it or not. What is the possible way? If you connect interlinking of rivers, you connect from the top to bottom, one by one you connect, keep connecting it. But all the way, it is not happening at a time. All the storage are not getting filled up. At a time, it is not getting filled up. It is on 4 seasons. On different times, you can't fill it up. But If you innovate a method or a system which can harness the flood water at the level of 2 minutes. Thank you. Maybe I will finish quickly. If you harness this, anyway, if you create a smart waterways grid at the level of 250 meter mean sea level height, from the sea level to 250 meter mean sea level height, and you cut across the India, if you cut across, create a horizontal plane, you will get a diagram like this. You will get a diagram like this. So, at the 250 meter mean sea level height, you create a waterways. Whether it is possible or not, we will discuss later. Maybe at the last minute I will discuss. But if we create this, certainly we can harness, we can create a balancing waterway, we can create a navigational waterway, and certainly it can store up to 600 billion cubic meter of water in the waterways, and this will act as a national reservoir. And this is the alternative proposal which has been given, and certainly we have the technology, we have the knowledge, and we have the geospatial mapping, and ISRO has a technology with the Cartosat. ISRO has mapped the entire country with the 3D stereographic images, and certainly by cutting across the 250 meter mean sea level height, we can create a possible map of this, and then certainly this project is a viable and implementable option based on our 10 years of study. We have concluded this may be the alternative solution, and that is what Dr. Kalam proposed, a national smart waterways grid which can get the water from anywhere and give the water to anywhere. So it will be a zero slope, and across the country, wherever it is getting charged, it will gradually increase. Wherever it is discharged, it will gradually come down. So this is the proposal which has been given, and based on that, I don't want to go into detail because of just I would like to touch upon another 30 seconds, the interlinking of rivers world experience. This world experience, Dr. Kalam and myself have visited, and our experience I am explaining here. We have visited and seen in United States, we have visited number of lakes. Out of 100 top lakes, 55 are man-made and 45 are natural. If you look at out of 1 lakh assessed in the US, approximately 52% are natural and 48% are man-made. And if you look at this is the US map, and all the green dots are all the natural, and all the yellow dots are the man-made lakes. Why the green dots are in the top? Because it is nearby Canada that is getting natural water. And all the other things are created. This is where Dr. Kalam visited the Ohia river management system, and we have studied the system. The army has taken over and created 400 lakhs and able to store 372 billion cubic meter of water in the Ohio river management system. And look at the waterways and canals in the USA and Canada, and the Lake Ontario and the Lake Erie is connected between Canada and US, and the Niagara Falls is totally controlled, a controlled flow, and that has been achieved by the technological innovation in US. And if you look at the Netherlands waterway system, we have visited and studied the Netherlands waterway system, which is working well. And Ireland waterway system, we have visited Ireland, and we have studied the Ireland waterway system, which has been functioning very well for a long time. And also, now you look at the Magdeburg Bridge, water bridge in Germany, and what we are trying to achieve is 250 meter mean sea level height. In Germany, they have achieved 950 meter mean sea level height. They have created the longest waterways in the world. In Germany, this is the place. And if you look at the next one, the Brazil waterways, the Blue Bridge, and the Thailand roadways, this is how our waterways, if you go through and connect all the mountains and the hills at the 250 meter mean sea level height. And China has initiated, in 2002, China has initiated this project. This is connecting north and south. This is called the South-North Water Transfer Project. This is implemented and it is working today. Within 12 years, China has achieved and connected 2,500 kilometers of waterways with this South-North Water Transfer System. with the cost of $80 billion, that is around 5 lakh crore implementation of water, it has been implemented. So with the 44 billion cubic meter of water has been stored in this. So certainly, I don't want to go into, because the time is very precious. The Indian experience, we have visited Goa is connected, Gujarat is connected, Tamil Nadu is trying to connect, and 15,000 kilometer coverage, which we are trying to achieve through smart waterways grid. So certainly, I am confident, if you look at it, Dr. Kalam has addressed 15 state assemblies and given this presentation, how it can be done. Karnataka, Andhra, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu, if it is able to achieve southern waterways grid, certainly all the 4 states can yield 3 crops per year. And we can have harnessed 4,000 TMC of water within all the 4 states, we can share it. Thank you.
It's a good presentation, technical presentation, but it is more of a man-centric. So all the rivers, if we disconnect, estuaries will die. When estuaries die, the marine life will die. So we must also keep this in our mind before venturing into this type of disconnecting river. And in Rigveda, there is a word called Rutu Dharma, seasonal justice. So in Rutu Dharma, every season has got a biological function. If you cut off water from rivers to the ocean, the marine life, which they come to the estuary for breeding, they lay eggs, wait for inflow of sedimented water with organic content. They will die. Where do they go? So we must understand the biological function of an estuary. The moment you cut off that, 80% or 90% of the protein which we are getting from the fish production, and ocean plays a very important role. I request this audience to read a book called Voice of Ocean. Voice of Ocean tells the story of human intervention. Today, ocean is filled with plastic cigarette butts. 12 lakh tons of cigarette butts are filled in the ocean. 1/3 of the ocean is filled with plastic. So if we cut off all these things, we do not know. Anyway, it's a technical presentation, keeping anthropocentrism in mind. Now, audience, we have hardly another 1 o'clock is already there. It's time for lunch. About 3-4 questions, maximum 3-4 questions for any of the audiences. Just a minute, you repeat it, let audience know.
This is regarding the last paper on interlinking of rivers and waterways grid. It is a very popular and nice to talk and nice to say also, and people understand also. But the water balance in nature is not so nice, it is quite intricate. If we consider so many billion liters of water is going to sea, so we can hold it in dams and pass it over. Is it possible? What is its effect on groundwater body? We have to think over that. What is that balance? It will do a havoc to entire natural balance. Thank you.
I think we can. Your
Yes,
all the points raised by the our chair and yourself, and certainly the point to be considered. Nobody has said that the entire water body has to be stored, and none of the country in the world has taken any effort to stop the water from flowing to the sea. Okay, so it is a question of how to better manage the water which is going to the sea. So at least you are able to harness 30% or 40% of the water which goes to sea in a better way of water management. Then it is for the benefit, right?
Yes.
So
Mr. Ponnuraj.
if that is the case, if that is the case, India would not have built 84 dams.
Yes, yes.
And none of the world has built the dams.
This has
Why?
also been discussed. Yesterday also it has been discussed. I have referred to one report of Central Groundwater Board and Professor Sitaram also.
Okay, we can discuss it in
We
the
can discuss later, sir. We can discuss later.
we can discuss that in a lunchtime. Mr.
Yeah, we can
Ponnuraj.
discuss.
Mr.
Sure, sure.
Mr. Ponnuraj.
There are a lot of things can be discussed on that. I am ready to discuss with each and every one of you if there is a time available, but we will discuss off the ground. Yeah.
Environmentalists all
No,
over.
it's
Sure,
all right.
sure.
Mr. All right. Mr. Ponnuraj, we can discuss this issue. We can discuss this issue in the lunchtime. And if there are any other questions? Ah.
It is necessary that some of the audiences can say their opinion, and I would like to be one of them. After the lunch, the panel, instead of the people talking more in the dais, I request the people over the dais to give a chance to the audience to convey their ideas. Thank you.
Sir, my question is specific to the Village Labs experiment. Where is the experiment going on, and is there any possibility for like a statewide implementation?
Right now, though, it's going on 3 villages in Chikmagalur, Kadur area and Panchanali area. This is as an experimental run. We will be expanding that into 20 villages in the same district. Then we'll take it on to the other states as well. As I said, Orissa is one experiment which we tried. We'll continue with that.
So, can I ask my question?
Only one question. Yes, please.
So here,
Last question. Lady.
sir, here, to your right. I'm here. So my question is to Mr. Ponnuraj only. I think it would be a little similar to what was asked. I couldn't hear it properly. So here we are considering rivers as just water. Then it is a great idea to interlink all of them. But they are very unique ecosystems that are in the rivers, that are the rivers themselves. If we connect them, different types of ecosystems, who knows what will happen to the life in one river connecting to the life in other river, the pH levels interfering with each other, and so pollution of one river getting into the another river, who can stop that?
The entire civilization is evolved.
No,
I am answering the question.
No, if we
Allow
consider,
her to complete her question.
You are
if
not
we
completed the
consider
question.
river as just water, then we can mix it. But it's a
complete her
whole
question.
ecosystem
Okay.
that, if we consider river as just water, then we can mix it, no problem. But it's a whole ecosystem we are talking about mixing up, and yeah, that might create problems. And in terms of pollution mixing, ecosystems mixing, and just life would die all around it. That's what, like,
Yes.
the estuary is an example, but there must be other.
Your answer should be very
Losses.
brief. Have you considered that?
Madam, I will just ask.
Water is not same.
Okay, sir. Let me answer.
Ecosystem is not same.
Let me answer, sir.
No, listen. Our question is very clear.
Yeah, you tell me the question.
No.
sir.
Our question is very clear.
Yeah. What is the question?
So, our question is, biodiversity and aquatic life of every water body is drastically different. Have you considered that different chemistry of the water, different ecosystem it flows into the body, and it has got a different thing? Have you considered that? Can science answer that? Be brief, one sentence reply.
You are asking 3 sentences in question. You are asking me to answer one sentence.
So you can discuss.
Okay, sir. I will answer in one sentence. Any civilization has evolved. Every civilization evolved because of water and the river. In every river, whenever it is migrate to one place to other place, different ecosystem is getting evolved and one ecosystem getting destroyed. The same water and the law of science applies here also. Thank you, sir.
Science won't apply here.
Sir, so one question please, last question. Can you allow me, Chair? I request the Chair to allow me a question, please.
I appreciate the river linking problem which you have initiated, but what we are sitting here is to arrest water where it falls and then go to your problem. It is, no, they are totally againstly working. You have to arrest water first where it falls, use it, and when it is not possible, then link it. If you try to link it, the expenses are so high, you cannot manage it.
Anyway,
I will write to you.
I will answer that.
Geological Society is the first to write whether linking of rivers is a bane or bone. We have written a book on that also. Yeah, we have evident it. You see, there are many problems in that. It is not that I have met your Kamraj also, who is in Madurai. I have discussed with him also. You see, there are problems in that, no doubt about it. But merely copying what the Westerns have copied is not going to be. What Art of Living is trying to say is arrest water where it falls and use it.
I am not here to say that, counter that, what you are doing is wrong. No, you please understand that. I am here to say that there are different layers of water management existing. So you have to consider you are working at one level, I am talking about the other level, somebody will talk about the other level. So it is a question of how to, overall you can take everything into consideration and try to create a solution. So countries have achieved, the world has done it, and it is in front of us, it is a witness. So you have to learn the lesson from that and do it. It is not the question of copying everything from the Western country. That means you have to completely throw away our phones. Thank you.
Sir,
no,
sir, one question. Sir. May I ask the Chair?
No more questions, no more discussions. Discussions will be in the lunch time.
Sir, one, please.
So I thank the Chair and Co-Chair and the speakers for the excellent and electrifying debate on the papers what they have just given, and I think I gave a big hand to all of them. Yeah. As a mark of respect, I request the organizer to just give a small memento. I request Chandrasekhar from Tamil Nadu, he is the volunteer like our Nagaraj, to just give it to all. First chairman and co-chairman. Yesterday thank you very much. Once again, I thank the Chair and Co-Chair for conducting this excellent session. And there are few announcements. One is like what Dr. Shankaran was telling, post-lunch, okay, some of the volunteers and then the workers, rather the delegates from Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, they feel you are mostly concentrating on Karnataka, you are not concentrating on other two states. So we want to just give about 10 minutes time after the post session. Maharashtra, people will be just talking about what they have just done, what is the thing you are expecting from us, and also with respect to Tamil Nadu, only 10 minutes, because already we are overshooting the time. And the other one is, yesterday night during the satsang, Guruji has released this souvenir. You can just see, this is a Jalavani. Okay? This souvenir, now all the delegates, they can just collect it. There are two entrances, one is from the entrance or from the other side also, our volunteers, they will be distributing. All the delegates will just get one copy. Kindly collect it. Another one, as Dr. Shankaran was just telling, the panel discussion, it is just meant for the discussion, what we have just done in this 2 days conference, and what are all deliberated, and what is the way forward, how we have to go. The resolution will be just taken. So it is not from whatever the people they just talk from the dais. We will be just taking the whatever the suggestions, we get into that, and the whole thing will be recorded, and then it will just give a roadmap for us to just go, what are all the way we have to just go in the future also. So definitely all the people in the audience or the delegates also get a chance during the panel discussion time. Thank you very much, and we will break for lunch. 2:15 we will just assemble for the next session. Thank you very much.